out here.
My mind forever in them projects, dog. Gotta hang my jersey on them apartments walls. They sleeping on me.
This girl that I struggle, that little go shopping for me, cause I know that it's all on the mall. Teach you how to hustle. This a Gucci feet, I got on that you buy me. These hoes like
from deep on the jet with the bros against the high speed. They think that it's full of boys in the scene, but under the skis they're pretty MP.
Shortly after his murder, a video surfaced. Grainy, disturbing. It appeared to show Chicken putting his hands on a young woman.
On August 7th, 2025, a gunman in a black hoodie would walk up to Ralph Herrera, a 33-year-old Bronx rapper known as Chicken Dondada, a father of 4 children, and fire a single bullet into his head at point-blank range, while his friend stood just feet away watching it all unfold. But before we get to that execution-style murder that surveillance cameras captured in horrifying detail, before we reveal the shocking behavior of the friend who many believed set him up, let me take you back exactly one day earlier, to August 6, 2025, when Chicken Dondada made the worst decision of his life, a decision that was caught on camera and would go viral within hours, turning him from a local underground rapper into a marked man whose death the internet would celebrate as karmic justice. On August 6, 2025, when a video surfaced online showing him in a heated physical confrontation with Baby Threat, an up-and-coming female rapper in the New York City drill scene. The footage, which appeared to be captured either during a live stream or at some kind of public encounter, showed Dondada and Baby Threat engaged in what started as a verbal altercation. In the video that would be viewed millions of times across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, Dondada struck Baby Threat directly in the face with such force that she was knocked completely unconscious. The brutal assault was captured in full, showing the moment when a grown man used his physical advantage to knock out a woman in front of witnesses, in front of cameras, with absolutely no regard for the consequences that would follow. The internet exploded with outrage immediately. Comments flooded in condemning Dondada for hitting a woman, for using violence against a female artist, for displaying the kind of toxic masculinity that has plagued hip-hop culture for decades.
I might get mad. Like, if you violate me on the track, I'm gonna get mad, bro. I'm
ducking these shit. If I catch Baby Threat, then I'm punching that bitch.
Baby Threat herself had spoken about the reality of the streets in previous interviews, discussing how disputes in the drill rap scene could turn physical, how she wasn't afraid to defend herself, and how the culture demanded respect regardless of gender. But nobody could have predicted that this particular confrontation would escalate to the point of her being knocked unconscious, and nobody could have predicted just how quickly the streets would respond to what had happened to her. The details surrounding what led up to the altercation remain somewhat unclear, but it appears to stem from a rivalry or personal dispute that is common in the competitive and often deadly world of underground drill rap. Drill music, which originated in Chicago and has taken deep root in New York City, particularly in the Bronx and Brooklyn, is known for its aggressive lyrics, its focus on street life and violence, and its tendency to blur the lines between artistic expression and real-world beefs. Rappers in this scene frequently call each other out in their tracks, make threats, disrespect rivals, and engage in the kind of provocative behavior that can and often does lead to actual violence. Dondada himself, whose real name was Ralph Herrera, was a Bronx native who had been working at the Exotic World Smoke Shop on Westchester Avenue in the Soundview neighborhood, while pursuing his dreams of making it in the rap game. He had released tracks like Stolies and had even traveled to collaborate with other artists like Nippy Hussle, showing his dedication to the craft and his ambition to break out beyond the local scene. Friends and community members who knew him described him as generous, as someone who often helped others, and emphasized his role as a devoted father to his 4 children.
Chicken, yo, despiértate, bro. ¿Qué es lo que es esa pero que está parado. Ay, qué maldita movie.
Listen, this is what we doing today. We giving out toys to the kids around the community. We had a whole trunk full. We've been giving them out. God bless everybody.
Shit, man. I got the Supreme jacket.
I got a Supreme jacket.
Look
Look at
Chicken. Somebody just called my sister called me with the baby. Well, I'm talking with my mom.
But Dondada also had a darker side that couldn't be ignored. His criminal record included 27 arrests, with at least one notable case involving illegal possession of a firearm. This background shows a man who is straddling 2 worlds, trying to build a legitimate career in music and provide for his family, while also being deeply embedded in the street life that comes with the territory in the Bronx drill scene. It's a common story in urban America, where aspiring artists find themselves unable to fully escape the circumstances that shaped them, where the same authenticity that makes their music compelling also puts them at constant risk of violence. When Dondada knocked Baby Threat out, nobody realized at the time, or perhaps some people did realize and were already putting plans into motion, was that karma would arrive less than 24 hours later. Because as that video continued to circulate and the outrage continued to build throughout the day and into the night of August 6th, someone, somewhere was making a decision. Someone was deciding that Chicken Dondada had to pay for what he had done. Someone was planning an execution. On August 7th, 2025, just one day after the assault video went viral, Dondada was standing outside the Exotic World smoke shop where he worked. It was a location he knew well, a place where he felt comfortable, surrounded by his neighborhood and sound view. He was with a friend, someone he trusted, someone who would later become the center of intense speculation and suspicion for their behavior in the moments leading up to and during the shooting. Surveillance footage from outside the smoke shop would capture what happened next in chilling, undeniable detail. The cameras show Dondada standing casually, perhaps talking to his friend, perhaps checking his phone, just living his life and working his job without any apparent awareness that danger was approaching. And then, from the edge of the frame, a figure appears. The gunman was dressed in a black hoodie and wore distinctive red and black sneakers that would later become key identifiers in the police investigation. The footage shows him approaching with purpose, with the kind of determined stride that suggests this was not a random encounter, not a robbery, not a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This was targeted. This was planned. This was an execution. The gunman walked directly up to Dondada and fired a single shot to his head at point-blank range. One bullet. One kill shot. The kind of precision that speaks to either extreme luck or the work of someone who knew exactly what they were doing. Dondada collapsed immediately, his body crumpling to the pavement as the gunman turned and fled the scene.
You can see those chilling moments when those shots were fired. First, keep your eyes on the top right corner of your screen. The video shows Herrera wearing what appears to be a white tank top and jean shorts, standing in front of a shop here near the Morris Avenue Soundview train station. Then from the bottom of your screen, you see the highlighted person in a hoodie run up on the victim, pull out a gun, and shoot him. And we did freeze the video right before those shots were fired, and bystanders ran to go help, but Herrera died at the hospital.
Witnesses rushed to help, but there was nothing anyone could do. Dondada was rushed to the hospital, but the damage was catastrophic and irreversible. Ralph Herrera, known to the streets as Chicken Dondada, was pronounced dead. Another casualty in the endless cycle of violence that has claimed so many young lives in the drill rap scene. Another name added to the growing list of aspiring artists who never got the chance to fulfill their potential because the streets demanded payment in blood.
But here's where this story takes an even darker and more disturbing turn,
Because when investigators and internet sleuth began examining that surveillance footage frame by frame, when they studied every second of what happened in those moments before Dondada was shot, they noticed something that most people missed. The friend who was standing with Dondada when the gunman approached has become the subject of intense scrutiny and widespread accusations of setting him up. The surveillance footage shows behavior that many viewers have interpreted as deeply suspicious, as evidence that this friend knew exactly what was about to happen and actively facilitated the murder of someone they were supposed to be close to, someone who trusted them enough to stand on that corner together. If you watch the video carefully, you can see the friend glancing in the direction of the approaching gunman before the attack occurs. It's a subtle movement, but it's there, a subtle look or signal. And then, in the moments when the gunman raises the weapon and fires, when Dondada's life is being taken right beside them, the friend's reaction is what has truly fueled the setup accusations. Instead of ducking for cover, instead of trying to help, instead of showing any of the panic or shock you would expect from someone who just witnessed their friend get shot in the head, the surveillance footage shows the friend calmly walking away from the scene instead of running or scrambling. He left the scene as if they had been expecting this outcome all along, and their role was simply to deliver Dondada to the right place at the right time. Although some have speculated that their friend received some kind of signal from the gunman, that there was prearranged communication about when and where the hit would go down, some others have suggested that the friend's casual walking away was intentionally done to avoid being identified as fleeing the scene, to maintain plausible deniability while still ensuring they weren't caught in any crossfire. The theories about who ordered the hit and why the friend would betray Dondada have multiplied exponentially. The most popular theory circulating online is that the shooting was direct retaliation for the assault on Baby Thread.
You know I'm the sleeve, 6'2" shots if you drop my beat. Catch a jet, put him on the tee. He get shot if he yellow in 3. Why the fuck is you mentioning me in the dead as you jack, you della him beat? Like what? Benjamin B. Ain't no axe, I'm smoking on key.
Orchestrated either by people close to her, by members of her crew, or by individuals in the drill rap community who felt that Dondada had crossed an unforgivable line by knocking out a female rapper on camera. Some online commenters have even suggested that Baby Threat herself might have been involved in planning the retaliation. Police recovered a single bullet casing from the scene and classified the attack as targeted and execution style, confirming what the surveillance footage made obvious. In the days and weeks following Dondada's murder, law enforcement officials released photos of the suspected shooter, clear images captured from the surveillance footage showing the man in the black hoodie and red-black sneakers. The photos are remarkably clear, showing facial features that should make identification possible if witnesses come forward or if the suspect is already in police databases. Yet as of November 2025, no arrests have been made in the case, and the investigation remains ongoing.
Are the photos that police have released. As you can see, they're very clear, and you can see the suspect's face. Police believe he is responsible for shooting 33-year-old Ralph Herrera to death here on Westchester Avenue earlier this month.
The lack of arrest speaks to a broader problem in communities affected by drill rap violence, the code of silence that prevents witnesses from cooperating with police, the fear of retaliation that keeps people from coming forward with information, and the general distrust of law enforcement that permeates these neighborhoods. Even with clear photos of the suspect, even with surveillance footage showing exactly what happened, solving these cases requires people to break that code and provide testimony, which rarely happens in the world where Dondada lived and died. But while the official investigation has stalled, the court of public opinion has rendered its verdict with swift and brutal certainty. The reaction to Dondada's death on social media has been deeply divided and disturbingly revealing about how people view violence, gender, and justice in the context of hip-hop culture. Many commenters have openly celebrated his murder, viewing it as deserved punishment for knocking out Baby Threat. Phrases like, "he had it coming," "that's karma," and "don't put your hands on women" have dominated the conversation, with people expressing little to no sympathy for the fact that 4 children lost their father and a family lost their son.
I be thinking about the ops, like when I be coming out black and terrorizing them. That's what be going through my head. I have to make myself angry. Sometimes I be in there playing around, I be like, hold on, let me talk to that real quick.
Baby Threat herself has continued her music career following the incident, discussing in interviews the reality of drill rap culture, the need to stay alert and ready for confrontation, and the violent nature of the scene she operates in. Her music has gained even more attention in the aftermath of Dondada's death, with some viewing her as a symbol of female empowerment in a male-dominated and often misogynistic genre. But others have mourned Dondada, pointing to his role as a father, his work in the community, his aspirations to build something positive through his music. Friends described him as generous and caring, someone who helped others and was working to provide for his 4 children. They argue that while he made a terrible mistake in assaulting Baby Threat, he didn't deserve to be executed in the street, that there should have been another way to hold him accountable that didn't involve taking his life and leaving his children fatherless. This case is just one example of a broader and deeply troubling trend in New York City drill rap culture, where beefs that start on social media or music tracks escalate rapidly into real-world violence that leaves young people dead and communities devastated. The statistics are staggering and heartbreaking. Data shows that teen shooting victims in New York City spiked to 92 through September 2025, up 21% from the prior year, with many of these incidents tied to drill rap rivalries and social media provocations. In the Bronx alone, there have been numerous cases of young rappers killed in retaliation for perceived disrespect or rivalry, including 10 people indicted in connection with retaliatory killings over Labor Day weekend 2025 that left 4 people dead. In East Harlem, a gang war resulted in 21 shootings in just 6 months, demonstrating how quickly violence can spiral and how many lives can be destroyed when young people are caught in cycles of retaliation and revenge.
Are facing a slew of criminal charges today. Investigators say they are members of rival gangs that targeted neighborhoods in Harlem. Prosecutors say gun violence from both gangs terrorized the community, with innocent bystanders often caught in the crossfire. Authorities seized more than a dozen automatic weapons as part of this investigation.
Thanks for joining us here on News 12 The Bronx. I'm Marissa Santorelli. Breaking tonight, 2 teens shot in East Harlem after a shootout in broad daylight. The Force Investigation Unit now looking into whether either of the teens were hit by officers.
This morning, an 18-year-old is in custody, accused of opening fire in East Harlem.
The NYPD says 2 officers saw the suspect shoot his weapon, with the officers giving chase and firing shots. Elijah Westbrook is live outside Harlem Hospital.
What do you think? Do you think he was backdoored by his friend also? Let me know in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.